Welcome to Sumita Roy's English classroom. I'm Professor Sumita Roy. I hope all of you are learning many detailed lessons on good English. But there are many of you who are very keen to learn quick English. And that is why I'm making some of these videos which you can practice for easy English, for quick English. But if you really want to learn good English, please go to the detailed videos also, because that will give you a firm foundation. Today, we are going to talk about fluent speaking, fluency, or to speak and in such a way that there is no gap between your thought and word. As soon as the thought comes to the mind, it can come out of your lips. Many of you say that you have so many ideas, but unfortunately you do not have enough language to put it into English. If asked to speak about the ideas in a language which you know better, you can speak for a long time, no hesitation, no difficulty. But when it comes to English, you have this fear. So, for fluent speaking, the first point for you to remember is that you have to overcome your fear. If you feel shy or if you feel frightened, then why do you feel that? You feel it because you think others will make fun of your English. They will laugh at you when you speak. They will penalize you. They will punish you if you make mistakes. But don't worry about that. Fluency comes only when you make mistakes and you are not scared to make mistakes. So please speak, even if you know only a few words in English. Please speak half a sentence English, half a sentence your mother tongue, Hindi or any other language. It doesn't matter. You have at least begun to use the language. So when you have a few words with you, try to do that. Otherwise, think in your mind. This is at the basic level. Think in your mind in your own mother tongue. Now, listen to all the vocabulary and grammar lessons. Put that sentence, which is there in your mind, in your mother tongue, into English. If you need help, write it. You write the sentence in your mother tongue. Then you know its meaning. Try to put the words where the English form, the English structure and the English vocabulary can be used. That is why I'm making detailed grammar and vocabulary lessons so that you will benefit from it. That is the point you have to remember. First, get rid of your fear, get rid of your shyness, and start speaking English. Second point, even if you speak a few words in English, and when you cannot get a word in English, you substitute a word of your mother tongue. Then try to find out what that word means in English. What is the word for it in English? This, of course, is for very basic learners of English because there are many words or many expressions in each language that cannot be translated into another language. It is there in your mother tongue, it is there in English also, that certain words or certain expressions cannot be put into English. Then you have to do an approximation. You have to keep to the meaning and express the meaning in a closest word or closest phrase which means what you had in mind in your mother tongue. So that is the second point which I gave you. First, changing your attitude, and second is to practice even if you use a few English words and a few English structures. That is why I started the whole channel by giving you pronunciation drill, language drill. Those sentences need to be practiced again and again. Throughout in the beginners videos, I have given you sentences which you need to practice. Earlier, I gave you a video on listening, and there I told you the more you listen, the better it is. It is not always necessary to listen to others. You read out the sentences and the passages I'm giving you in all the videos. Look at all the videos, more than 40 now, and read out the textual matter which is there, the text which is there. Read it loudly so that whatever you're saying with your lips, your ears are able to hear. You know, the first language acquisition is through your ears. So if you speak and your ears can hear, don't worry about making mistakes. Again and again, I've been repeating this. The more mistakes you make, the better you will learn. We cannot learn anything without making mistakes. You might think I learned English easily, but it wasn't easy. I also worked very hard to learn the amount of English I know today. So all of you need to work very hard. Quick fix is not possible because that will come and it will go. But if you really learn in depth, you will be much better. Now we move on to the third point. I hope the 2 points are clear. The point number 1, which was that you should fearlessly speak how much ever you know. The second point was that even if you don't know all the words, you can use your mother tongue and then you can translate that into English and put it. If you don't know a word in English, then find out what that word in your mother tongue means in English. Get an approximate understanding of it. For instance, I'll give you an example. You know, we say rice. We have cooked rice in so many terms because we all eat rice. So there are so many terms in our languages for different preparations of rice. But in English, we say rice for everything. You know, it's fried rice or it's boiled rice or it is, flavored rice, various terms with rice. But you think of your own mother tongue, you will find that so many words are there. Different parts of the world have different words which are culture specific. That means each culture determines the word. So you need not worry about that. You are going to learn some basic English, so don't get worried about all these things. Sometimes students give me a word in their language and they ask me to translate into English. Very often I find that exact translation is not there in English at all. Then I have to tell them that this is approximately what it means, not exactly. We have terms like guru or mantra already a part of the English vocabulary, but those are originally Indian words. They might have a different meaning or a deeper meaning apart from the meaning which English dictionary gives you. So you have to be aware of all this. Now, the third point which I'm going to tell you is that slowly you must discontinue the mother tongue. If you want to reach from basic to mid-level, intermediate level, then to advanced level, please have this habit of slowly removing the mother tongue dependence. At the beginner's level, you need the mother tongue. You are basing your English on your mother tongue. Many people are asking, can you teach in our mother tongue? Yesterday, I got a call where somebody was speaking in Kannada. I don't know Kannada. So I said, sorry, I don't know Kannada. What are you saying? Please say it in English or in a language I know. I know 4 or 5 languages, but Kannada is not one of them. Then what happens is that person feels very shy to say the same thing. Whatever he said in Kannada, he could not say it in English. So, therefore, get out of the dependence on your mother tongue. That is very important. As long as you are dependent on your mother tongue, your English will remain at the bottom. It will only remain at the beginner's level, the basic level. You want to go higher, you try to make sentences in English in your mind, not in your mother tongue first and then into English. Again, let me repeat that when you start making sentences in English in your mind before you speak, you must remember that if you make mistakes, it is not a problem. There is a saying in English: failures are the stepping stones to success. That means, unless you fail, you cannot reach success. On one side, there is failure, on one side, there is success. There are some stones in the middle. So, unless you step on those stones, you cannot reach the other side. Suppose there's a river here, and there are some stones which you have to come, otherwise, you cannot cross the river just like that. Then you reach success, which is on the other side. Suppose you stand here and say, oh, I cannot go, I'm a failure, I cannot become better. Then what happens? You never reach success. So every failure for you is a learning experience. By learning English, welcome failures, welcome mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the happier you should be. Because if you make less mistakes, there is very little to learn. You know, the adventure is when you have 90% English to learn. You know only 10%. So you say, oh, I can learn 90%. Suppose a person already knows 90% English, they are at a higher level and they will say, oh, I have only 10% to learn. Not much. This is what we have to keep in mind when we are talking about making mistakes. So please do not feel bad if you are making mistakes. Many more points about fluent speaking I will give you before I move on to accurate speaking. But today, these 3 points are sufficient. So you take a sentence and you start thinking, what will you say? What is the idea in your mind? Now, what are you doing now? Think. You can say that I'm listening to a video at this time. Simple sentence. If anybody says I'm listening a video, you are making a mistake because listen comes in a category which is intransitive. I have already told you about transitive and intransitive verbs in the lexical verbs video. I hope you watched it, then you will know what I'm saying. If you haven't watched it, go and watch that and try to remember. So, what are you doing now? I'm watching a video or I'm listening to an English lesson. This you can say. Now, what are you going to do again? Next, what will you do? After the lesson is over, I will practice English. Simple sentence. What are you doing? You are thinking in your mind, what will you do next? Remember that we always plan before we do anything. We don't realize that we are planning. We keep thinking, what next? What next? So the whole day's plan you have in your mind. Now put the whole day's plan in the form of simple sentences. I'm telling you about fluent English. If you go to the beginner's conversation video number 3, you will find, a family is talking from morning till evening. They have so many conversations. So, what do you tell yourself? You say, now the alarm is ringing. I have to get out of bed. You were sleeping. The alarm rings. It's a working day. You have to get up. Then what do? Then you say, I brush my teeth. I tell my brother or sister or husband or wife or children, whoever is there with you at home, I tell them all to brush their teeth. Or I ask them if they have brushed their teeth. Now you see how simple the sentence is? I brush my teeth. Just few words. I tell others to brush their teeth. I tell others in my family to brush their teeth. Or I ask my family if they have brushed their teeth. Now, what comes next? If you are very spiritually inclined, you might do some puja, meditation. If you are exercise oriented, you will do some yoga or you will do some physical exercise. You might go to the gym. Now, make sentences with all this. You say that now I have finished brushing my teeth. I will do yoga for half an hour, or I will meditate for 10 minutes. I will do my puja for a few minutes, or whatever worship, prayer, any kind of worship which you do. You can do that. That is your next sentence. You can write it in so many different ways. Now, you are not talking to anybody else. Many of you feel that I need a companion to talk to. Madam, can you take classes online? We want to talk to you. How can I take classes for thousands and thousands? And the earlier 10 years back videos are millions and millions. I cannot reach all of you unless it is a powerful social media like YouTube. It is for all of you that I'm talking to you now. When you watch me in this video, you will feel we are in facing each other. We are with each other. I'm coming to each of your houses, each of your laptops or your smartphones. I'm being with all of you. So follow the instructions. Now come to the next sentence. Then morning you have to eat breakfast. Suppose you are alone, you have to prepare your breakfast also. If you are with your family, either you prepare or somebody else prepares. So you can say, next, I prepare my breakfast, or I prepare breakfast for myself and my family. Or you can say, the breakfast is ready and all of us go to have our breakfast now. You can also say, it is 7 o'clock in the morning. It is time for breakfast. Now see how many sentences I'm giving you? Simple sentences. Those of you who are saying, Madam, please give script. I cannot give you a script. I have no script. I'm just talking to you. Please halt the video, write down the sentence, and then practice if you want. Otherwise, listen to the video many times. Some people tell me that when they are going from house to work in a bus, they watch these videos. They put their earphones and they watch it, and then they can get the benefit because they can see, for an 1 hour travel, they can see 2, 3 videos and they can see it every day, same video. So you say that you had breakfast. Now what will you do? Now you will have your bath, or if you've already finished your bath while you're brushing your teeth, that also is possible. And then you get ready for work. If you are employed, you will get ready for work. You have to wear formal clothes. If you are in a school, you will wear a uniform. If you're in a college, you will wear a dress, whichever is suitable to that place where you're going. If you're not going to work or to school or college, you might be going to the marketplace to buy some vegetables. So you have to say that I will get ready and leave for the market. I will get ready and go to office. Those who are going to office will say that I collect my bag, my laptop, my files, whatever you have to take with you. My tiffin box, if you want to have lunch, then you take your lunch box with you. Somebody prepares the lunch or you prepare it yourself, take it and eat. Otherwise, you eat in a canteen because work would mean whole day, college would mean whole day, market would mean only 1 hour or half an hour. So, depending on that, you need to make the sentence. Then you, like this, you frame the sentences for the whole day. There is a lot of work in office. I was very busy in office today. School children can say that we have a lot of homework. Today, the teacher taught us many important lessons. The college students can talk about what happened in their college, all in simple, easy sentences. One noun as subject, one verb which is suitable to the action you're doing, and one object if it is a transitive verb. No need for object if it is not a transitive verb, if it is intransitive. Then, if you want to add further information, you say that I reached college today at 9 o'clock by bus. So you say, I reached college today at 9 o'clock. At is preposition, 9 o'clock. You can make the sentence longer by saying by bus. This is the way in which you can make one sentence longer and longer. You say, I attended a meeting in the seminar hall of the office at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. Now, see how long the sentence is. I attended a meeting. Finish. That is your sentence. I attended a meeting. Now you are adding. Where did you attend? In the seminar hall. When did you attend? At 3 o'clock. What 3 o'clock? In the afternoon. And then where? You say on Monday. In this way, you go on adding one or two words to make your sentences longer. So, if you make sentences like this, already you have it in your mind. As I told you, the mother tongue comes in here. You have the sentence in your mother tongue. First few videos, some students were saying, Madam, can you teach in Hindi? Can you teach in Telugu? Since I can read Telugu, I could read the script. I can read Hindi, I could read the script. But please remember that your Hindi or your Telugu is not going to help you to learn English beyond a point. Up to a point, your mother tongue might be like a stick, walking stick. If you have problems with your legs, you use a walking stick. So the mother tongue becomes like a walking stick. But after some time, your legs are all right. You don't need the stick anymore. Then you have to be independent of your mother tongue. Learning English does not mean you should forget your mother tongue. We all love our mother tongue. Given a chance, I would speak to all of you only in my mother tongue. But that is not my role here. I have called the channel English Classroom. So I'm talking to you in English. And I'm telling you various things in English which are quite simple. Now, if I feel shy or if I feel frightened by saying, how will I do it? How will I speak? Then I will not be able to speak. So, all those of you who are scared to say even one word in English, don't be scared. Before starting to speak, please read all the slides which are there in these. Out of 40 videos, maybe 30 videos have slides. Read those slides loudly many times. If the video is continuing, take pictures of those slides and keep the pictures with you and read from that. You can convert it to a PDF and read from that. But read loudly. Please remember to read loudly. Reading in your mind is not going to help you. Unless you read it loudly, your ears cannot hear what your mouth is saying. Listening is most important. So please read that. If you have the time, read the newspaper or read a book. Small books are available with simple stories. I gave you one video on storytelling. If you all are interested, I will make many videos on storytelling. Now, when you listen to that video, you must tell that story in simple language in your own words. I gave you one story about the monkey and the crocodile right in the beginning. That was listening exercise for mid-level. I also gave you a parable of Sri Ramakrishna. If you read those loudly, then you will get that much grammar and vocabulary with you. So as you build up your grammar and your vocabulary, your speaking improves. So start today by saying, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do now? What is your plan for today? Or you can describe something in the past. Remember, I gave you opportunities to describe in the second video of conversation, uh, beginner's conversation, I think first or second video. You will remember that I gave you a chance to describe yourself or to describe your city and a festival, such things. You can describe. Use simple sentences. We are celebrating Navaratri, 9 days, the worship of Mother Goddess. So you make 5 sentences or make 10 sentences. What are you doing every day in this festival? That will be speaking. You will repeat it to yourself 10 times, the same ideas 10 times. Then when you go out to meet some friend during this festival, you can exchange these sentences with them. Try to impress them by speaking in English when they speak to you in English. If somebody is speaking another language, please don't speak English. But if somebody addresses you in English, you should be in a position to reply to them. Many times I find, somebody is waiting at the bus stop. They turn to you and they ask you, please, can you tell me the time? You keep looking at your watch. You know the time because we learned to read time when we were in our nursery class or first class. We all know how to tell the time, but you don't know how to tell it in English. So you keep thinking and you keep thinking. That person goes to the next one and says, can you tell me what is the time? You have lost an opportunity to speak. So you can say, it is 10 o'clock, or it is 10:30, or it is 10:30. Instead of saying 10:30, you can put it by saying 10:30. You can also say it is 10:15, or you can say it is 10:15. You can say 10:45, or you can say 11:15. These are all simple expressions which you should learn and you should practice. In one of the conversations for beginners, I will put this concept of telling time, how time is told. So these things, when you learn it in an elaborate process, in a long process, not, saying instant, it should come in a minute. That's not what I'm trying to teach you. In the English classroom, which I'm giving you a firm foundation for English. You will be able to be confident in English for the rest of your lives. Because I have found many students who studied for a competitive exam, because you need to write an exam to go abroad. They got good scores and they went there. but there they are not able to speak to anybody in English. They are struggling with English. Although they passed an exam in English and then only they got an opportunity to go abroad. So what they did is that they learned some things by heart. It doesn't remain in your mind. But when you learn in great detail, these things remain in your mind. But for fluent English, for fluent speaking, there is only one mantra, and that is practice and practice and practice. So I gave you 3 points today. One is, don't be frightened if somebody is talking to you in English. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. Speak as much as you know. And the second point is, think in your mother tongue and translate it into English. Even if you don't know all the words, try to say 10 words in English, 2 words in your mother tongue, no problem. But find out immediately what those 2 words mean in English. And next time you use that sentence or that idea, use the English words and not the mother tongue. For this, you have to work hard. My videos will not reach up to that point where I can hold each of your hands. I'm trying to help you by giving you some instructions. But please remember that all these instructions have only one thing, and that is self help, self learning, self improvement. Not improvement depending on me, but depending on yourself. The more you speak, your daily routine, every day morning, if you speak, or if you don't have time in the morning, when you come back in the evening, you try to recollect. Today, what all did I do? Sit down quietly for 5 minutes and put all those activities into sentences in English. If you can do this, I'm sure your English will improve every day. You don't have to wait for a week or a month. Every day your English will improve because you're spending 10 minutes talking to yourself. Try out these methods and see how they help you. Thank you and all the best.